Pep Guardiola, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandinho, your boys have taken one hell of a beating. Whoo! Whoo! Lyon, Olympic Lyonnais. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? I mean, we none of us. I don't know if there was a man. There's probably a man out there. I'm sure there was someone who commented in the YouTube saying that Lyon would beat Man City. But honestly, when this draw was made and Lyon were on that side of the draw, they'd already beaten Juventus. Pep Guardiola and the Man City fans were licking their lips. They were rubbing their hands. All right, we get past Real Madrid. Lyon, light work. Deal with that. Light work. It weren't light work. It weren't light work at all. And they deserved to lose. Listen. Who do you blame? Who do you blame? We have to credit Lyon. And I'll get on to Lyon in a bit. But in terms of Manchester City, they go into this game as clear favourites. So for them not to win, you have to start looking at who do you blame? You have to. And I think it starts with the manager. It really starts with the manager. It doesn't mean that he's at fault of everything. We'll get onto the individual things as we progress on the stream. But you start with a manager. He goes into this game against an inferior opposition, man for man. A team who finished 7th in what we call a farmers league. We call it a farmers league. Yet there's 2 French teams in the last 4. We call the Bundesliga a farmers league. Yet there's 2 Bundesliga teams in the last 4. There's no Premier League teams. There's no La Liga teams. There's no Serie A teams. But we have the audacity to call the French league and the Bundesliga farmers leagues. Farmers league no more. Farmers league no more. As a matter of fact, I think I said this last year. I think I said it last year. Farmers league no more. We can't do it. We can't call it that. Listen. Pep Guardiola. You go into a game where you are clearly the better side, man for man. You've had a better season. And you go to match and try and counter the opposition by saying, all right, you go 3 at the back. This is a formation you lot play, or 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. We're going to match you in that way and go away from our philosophy, our just style of play. Everything was different. You had De Bruyne out of position. You had Sterling and Jesus as the main striker. Sterling doesn't play through the middle like that. You saw his best work was always out wide in throughout the whole game. And we'll get on to Sterling. But you change that. You have 2 defensive midfielders in the middle in Rodri and Gundogan. And a back 3 of Laporte, Fernandinho and Eric Garcia. And then the fullbacks. Kyle Walker, cool. But if you're going to go 3 at the back and you got 2 wing backs, you have to go with Benjamin Mendy because he's your most attacking fullback. That's all he can do, to be honest. In a 4 at the back, I don't blame you not starting Mendy. But if you're going to go with wing backs, you have to start Mendy. So he got it horribly wrong. And City barely created a chance in that first half. Barely. I think all their chances came from set pieces. And De Bruyne was shooting when he maybe could have crossed. But it was simple for the keeper to deal with. They didn't create anything when they matched Lyon in that 3 or 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. Everyone was calling, he needs to make a change, He made a change about 10 minutes into the second half, took off Fernandinho, he was on a yellow card as well, and brought on Mahrez. Sterling, who was already having a good game, you saw De Bruyne coming to the game more. He's picking up the ball in areas that he can hurt. He's much more comfortable. In the first half, he was poor, not through all his own fault, but the system just didn't fit him. You have the 2 wide players now with Mahrez and Sterling, and City were the dominant team. But I did think Lyon, they were too passive. They sat on their lead. And I said to myself from the outset, Lyon needs to score again. Because Man City will score. You have to score again. But they had no intention of really scoring while the score was 1-0. And in the end, Man City got their goal through Kevin De Bruyne. Brilliant work from Raheem Sterling down the left, cuts inside. I think it was Denea, who also had a very good game. Denea, the centre back, the right side centre back, had a very good game. Ex-Man City centre back, actually. Cut inside, laid it to the edge of the area, and De Bruyne, calm, collected pass into the far corner, 1-1. And you think from there on, City's going to dominate. City, they were dominating this whole second half. They're going to go in and get a second. And if we're honest, they should have got a second. They should have got a second. But Lyon at that point said, you know what, guys, we might need to attack. We might need to score again. He made a few changes, brought on Dembele, took off Memphis, who had been trying all game, didn't really get much out of it. I didn't even speak about Lyon's goal in the first half. Good goal from Cornet. Just exposed City's formation and their tactics of having their, the three at the back and then leaving so much space down the wide areas. But Lyon decided to actually counter now. Let's actually try and get another goal. And that's where you can hit. That's where you hurt Man City, because Man City's issues this season have been defensively. That's the main reason why they haven't had a successful season, because they scored over 100 goals in the league. But defensively, they were a shambles. So Lyon should always have in their mind, we can get another goal. We can get another goal. And they didn't really go for it until Man City equalized. But even then, Man City should have had the game. And I spoke about it. I don't want to go in on it. It's not my aim. But this is what I spoke about. Gabriel Jesus is not the man to win you a major trophy. You missed that chance at the back post. We're going to speak about Sterling's chance. But you are the number 9 striker replacement for Aguero. And that chance falls for you near enough an open net. Not exactly, but near enough. You have to put that away. He hits into the ground and goes over the bar. He's about 3 yards out. He's about 3 yards out. You're number 9. He can't replace Aguero. I said this. It's nothing against Jesus, but he's just not good enough. Because in those moments where you may only get that one chance, if you may only get that one chance, because he didn't have any real chances in that game. He had a shot about 70 minutes in where he cut him from the left. But other than that, that was his first clear-cut chance. Has to score it. A clinical striker has to score that. He's not a clinical striker. I've always said, good player. When he's out wide, he can hustle, he can run, he can get crosses in. But as your main number 9, he will miss chances when you need him to score. Aguero scores that. It's not fair for me to compare him to Aguero, but that's what people are doing. They're comparing to Aguero, so I have to expose him. He's not Aguero. He will never be Aguero, unfortunately. But if you put him out wide, he will do a good job. And he created a chance. But before that, as I missed that chance, boom. Lyon got up the other end. Moussa Dembele threw on goal. Obviously, there was a VAR check for offside. That was cleared up because he didn't interfere with any player. He didn't touch the ball, so he's not offside. However, there was a VAR check for a foul in the build-up. I actually need to see it again. But from what everyone's saying is that they're surprised it wasn't given. But I think the fact that the referee didn't give it on the field, has to be a clear and obvious error. I need to see it again, so I can't say whether or not the VAR got it wrong or even the referee got it wrong. I can't say that. But Dembele goes through. I'm not going to blame the keeper for conceding a one-on-one, but Ederson concedes goals through his legs or that go straight at him all too often. He didn't go round him. The keeper, he didn't chip him. He just went through him. And Ederson does it all too often. Oh, we're going to get on to Ederson. We're going to get on to Ederson. Everyone that's waiting in the waiting area, I'm going to get to you. I just need to review this properly. And then 2-1 down. Man City on the ropes. I think they brought on David Silva by now. He only made 2 subs. He had Foden on the bench. He had Bernardo Silva on the bench. He only made 2 subs. He could have brought on Mendy. Mendy's an attacking left back. He could have brought on Mendy, but he didn't. Pep's got blood in his hands. Pep has to explain this. It's not for me to explain. Pep has to explain this. And then the moment that is going to reverberate around English media, I'm talking social media, mainstream media, it's going to be in our heads forever. In the World Cup, everyone said Kane should have squared it. Kane should have squared it. I'm not saying Kane shouldn't have squared it. But if he did square it, there's no guarantee that Sterling's scoring, because Sterling has that in him. How many times have we seen Sterling miss those kind of chances? It's coming few and far between these days because he's improved so much. But maybe it's the pressure. Maybe did it bubble? I don't know. Maybe it bubbled. But maybe it's the pressure of that moment where you know my team needs a goal. And again, I'm not saying Sterling is replacing Aguero, but Aguero scores that. That's the difference between the levels of elite and very good. Those are the differences. Those moments. Everyone knows you've got ability, but it's the moment that you do it. And that moment needed Sterling to put that away. I thought it was 2-2, open goal. Man blazed it over the bar. He couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Nobody on everyone head in hands. Nobody could believe it. Unbelievable miss. And just like the Jesus miss, to add insult to injury, they go straight up the other end, 3-1. Horrible error from Ederson, who we need to have a serious conversation about Ederson. People just assume that he is the second best keeper in the league because he plays for Man City and De Gea's having a hard time. But I've seen these errors. I spoke about the first goal where I said he gets beaten when the ball goes straight at him all too often. In the Manchester derby, the goal that Martial scored from the quick free kick from Bruno Fernandes, he gets beaten low down, goes through him. Spurs, last season, I think it was. Or was it this season? Where Lamela shoots and it down the middle of the goal and he doesn't get it. Like, these kind of things happen all too often with Ederson. And again, in the moment, the big moments, you need your big players to be switched on. He can't say I've been quiet all game and he wasn't switched on. He was busy. Lyon was counter-attacking in that second half. He was busy. But what happens? The ball comes to him, he spills it, and then Dembele's there off the bench, 2 goals, taps it in. So, listen, Pep Guardiola has blood on his hands. Because for me, he was the main reason why they lost this game. His tactics is why City weren't able to dominate the whole game and impose himself on Man City. However, the players have to take a look at themselves. Defensively, they are not good enough. And they haven't been good enough all season. The attack, I mean, when there's no Aguero, can you rely on Jesus? That is the question that has been asked. I've answered it a long time ago. I said, no, he cannot. You can't rely on him. I think everyone's going to understand today why you can't rely on him. I'm going to bring in Tom. He has been waiting for a little minute now. Tom, Man United fan, you can't be disappointed about that result today.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow night, so might as well keep my mouth shut, really.
No, man, listen, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow night, we need to take it in. Because if we lose tomorrow, are we going to say, oh, we failed to celebrate when Man City go? No, I'm happy. Man City are not winning a Champions League. I don't want to see it. I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think they would have won it anyway, because I don't think they would have beat Bayern Munich, to be fair. So, I wouldn't have seen them got into the final anyway. But no, I just think absolutely embarrassing. You know, what can you really say? I like you hit the nail on the head with the manager. You know, suicidal tactics, just suicidal. You know, the mate, and we've said it for a while. I know you said it. The way you beat Man City, you played them on the counter attack. Man United have beaten them 3 times this year with shite players like Lingard and Pereira. But all you did against them was play counter attack, and you could still beat them. Yeah. It was that bad. Teams like Southampton and everything play counter-attack and just ripped them apart because defensively they don't have the players to run back. Otamendi and Stones, delusional defenders. Delusional duo, them.
The fact that we've all accepted that Fernandinho is playing centre-back this season says
exactly. It sums it up. It's a CDM. A CDM is playing centre-back for them. That just about sums it up. I know we haven't been lucky with Laporte this season. That does not excuse anything. They didn't replace Vincent Kompany. They got punished. That was the problem. Vincent Kompany was the rock in that defence. Him and Laporte, rock solid. But you've lost one piece of the puzzle in Kompany, and for most of the season you've lost the second piece of the puzzle in Laporte because he's been injured. So you've got no pieces, and you've been ripped to pieces by other teams. It's as simple as that.
There was a few comments on, I think it was the day that PSG went through. And obviously Neymar, he missed a few chances that he created himself generally. But then he came up trumps at the end, got the assist, and he made a key pass for the winner as well after obviously Mbappe came on. There's a comment here from Hadam Madrid. He says he was hearing Sterling greater than Neymar. And I heard those shouts. Now, what do you make of that Sterling miss? Because I mean, everyone was expecting to go in. Everyone was expecting it to go in.
This is European level. You can't miss those chances. You like I say, if you make a defensive error as a defender at Europe's top table, you'll get punished 9 times out of 10, and you've only got that one little glimmer of hope where it'll be ballsed up. And Lyon got that one glimmer of hope tonight with Sterling. Right, doesn't matter if you're the goalkeeper, even if you're the dinner lady in the canteen. You don't miss that. Come on, it's just there. The goal's there and the ball's at your feet. How? It's just unbelievable. If that was Man United, like if that was Rashford or something, and it's just cost you, well, pretty much cost them maybe getting back into the game, maybe even going to a semi-final, possibly winning the whole thing. It's cost them. But there was a stat that got brought up since Pep Guardiola has been at Man City in the last 4 Champions League tournaments. The first year, they got knocked out at the round of 16. The past 3 years, where have they been knocked out now? Quarterfinals.
It's poor. It
is poor.
When you look at the team that they have, because forget about the money they spent, because everyone spends money. PSG spent money, they've been criticised. Man United spent money, we've been criticised. Real Madrid and Barcelona spend money. Where that money comes from is another argument. But they've bought those players, and they've bought well, other than the summer just gone, because they didn't buy what they needed to. But throughout all those years, they've had quality players.
Oh, yeah.
With European experience. Yet somehow Pep can't get them over that mental. Because really, it must be a mental hurdle. It's not
for sure. It's not. No, it's not ability. You need to beat teams like Lyon. Come on. Did the play? Was he in the group with Lyon this season?
I think
it was last season. Last season they struggled against them.
They didn't beat them. They didn't beat them.
No. And even when they played at Lyon, they still drew 2-2. So it wasn't exactly like Pep did anything amazing. And to be honest with you, I don't really know what the hype is around Pep Guardiola, to be honest. No, I'm not going to home in on him that much. But the hype around...
Are you saying he's not... So when you say the hype, okay, what is it that people say about Pep? What do they say he is?
They say he's, top 2 managers in the world and everything. But the thing is, most of the things that he's achieved are in the past now. He's obviously... The game's moving forward. Pep Guardiola doesn't go to clubs to win Carabao Cups and FA Cups. He goes to clubs to win league titles and win Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
That's what every top manager does.
And I think the fact that obviously he won them back-to-back, and they won the league back-to-back, I think that's a big achievement, because they
that is a big achievement,
league titles before, but he had to go and win the Champions League. And I'm not saying...
That's what they brought him in to win, because they've never won it before.
Exactly.
Spent all that money.
When he's planning on leaving, but is he going to stay just forever and ever until the Champions League? Because that's his job. That is his job. And
Barcelona need a manager right now. might have done that tonight for a reason. Get bought out. You never know.
BP says Pep was not wrong to match their formation. They should have been able to beat them man for man either way. I don't disagree with you. However, you have to also respect Champions League football. Lyon are here on merit. They beat Juventus over 2 legs. They're here on merit. As bad as they may be man for man, this is a formation and a tactic that they play regularly. Man City don't play this regularly. And especially not with the players. As I said, Mendy would have been playing left back probably. Aguero obviously usually up front. If they do the 2, it'll be Aguero and Jesus. There was no Mahrez, no Bernardo Silva. And obviously no David Silva as well. So they changed it from their regular formation with a back 3 who's probably never played together, Eric Garcia, Fernandinho, and Laporte as a 3. And for me, they were disjointed because Kevin De Bruyne, who is their best player, their main player, the one who dictates the play, the tempo, everything, creates their chances, he wasn't in the game. And if your best player is not in the game, you change your formation to get your best player in the game. And when they changed it, they were a better side. So yes, man for man, they're still better, but you give yourself the best opportunity to win by playing to your strengths. And I think Man City are good enough to play to their strengths against most teams in Europe. you said that you don't think they're going to get past Bayern, and maybe if you go to play Bayern, you have to change something up because you know that you can't just go as you normally do, like you're playing a Norwich or a Crystal Palace. You have to change something, but not against Lyon. Lyon, you go and you play. Listen,
you play your way of football. You play how you've played for your whole entire time there. I don't really get why you change it. It's like with such as Man United, why are we changed formation and everything? The FA Cup, semi-final against Chelsea, we'll never know. When the formation that suits the team and suits the way that we were playing at the time, we were on that major run. Man City in the Premier League have played a certain way. Yeah, they've not, albeit going to win the Premier League title this season, but they've won it with using the same formation the past 2 seasons, back to back, like you alluded to earlier. So, like I say, I just think Pep didn't prepare properly for this game at all. I don't really get why managers match formations to an extent because, you're matching how they're setting up and how they're styling, but different teams have different ways of playing and different philosophies of how they want to play. So I don't actually get why you switch it out now at the quarterfinal stage. You're 3 matches away from possibly getting to a final, and you want to switch it up now. If you wanted to do that, you trial things in the group stages, and especially when it's a one-off knockout match.
Yeah,
maybe if it was over 2 legs.
But that's the thing. You know what's funny? Because I thought that this one-off knockout round thing would actually suit Man City. And the reason why I say that is because Tom's just gone, I'm not sure. But the reason why I say that is because Pep seems to, we call it Pep roulette. Anyone that plays fantasy football, FPL, we talk about it, Pep roulette. He likes to tinker and change and this and that. And when it comes to 2-legged football, he's like, all right, I'll play like this in the away leg or the first leg, depending on where it might be. And the second leg, I'll change up and do X, Y, Z. And that really is where they come unstuck. It happened against Spurs, where he went so defensive and counter-attacking against Spurs in the first leg, lost that one 1-0. Against Liverpool, a few years ago, he switched it up. And it just doesn't seem to work. And I felt that when you're playing 90-minute football, Man City, you can just say, you know what? 90 minutes, we are the better side. We're going to win the game. Over 2 legs, away goals come into it. All those things kind of happen. So I thought this would actually benefit Manchester City. But it's like Pep went I know he likes to overthink, but he went into ultra overthinking. It's like he thought it was only 90 minutes. There's no mistakes. So maybe he was a bit too cautious. I think that he paid Lyon too much respect. By playing effectively 3 defensive midfielders, obviously Fernandinho playing at centre-back, and then Gundogan and Rodri, he went too defensive and paid them too much respect because maybe it was over 90 minutes. So I just don't know. I think it's just a mental thing with Man City and the pressure, I guess, that Pep is under to win that trophy makes him do weird and wonderful things. It's very, very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. But yeah, Man City out. No English side. I mean, last season we're talking about how English sides, this is the moment that they can dominate European football. We can see the decline that's happening in La Liga with Real Madrid and Barcelona. We're going to speak about a few of the other results in a minute. Serie A, they're nowhere near what they used to be. And Bundesliga, we're thinking, well, it's just Bayern Munich. And we call the league on a Farmers League. So Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea all got to European finals last year. And we're thinking this was a moment for English football to really steal a march on the rest of Europe. And they're unable to do it because this year, where there's no English side in the semi-finals of the Champions League, there's possibly one English side in the semi-finals of the Europa League. And that's not a given. Man United against Sevilla is not a given at all. Sevilla are a very, very good footballing side. So I'm not counting any chickens there. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that for a fact. Tom's back. I want to talk about the 4 semi-finals. And you lot in the comments, just let me know, what do you think the results are going to be? So obviously we've got Bayern Munich versus Lyon. And we've got PSG versus Leipzig. Now, when the draw was made originally, with this one-off knockout, I think for me anyway, I was like PSG, Bayern. That is the ideal final. I think both teams who play football on the front foot, they play food football, will be the most interesting final to watch, I think. And now these two are the favourites on either side of the draw. Tom, what are you expecting from the semi-finals? And you lot in the comments, let me know what you're expecting for the two semi-finals.
I'm expecting a shocker from one game. I'm expecting one shocker. It's not going to come from the game that we've just seen tonight. Lyon, nobody's getting past Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are winning this tournament. I said it before the restart, and I'll say it again. Bayern Munich are the phenomenal team, not just now, but in all of Europe, really, currently right now. I don't see a team better than them. And if there's a team that you don't want to play right now, it's Bayern Munich. Scoring goals for fun, completely outplay you, outpass you, outshoot you, tackle you, set piece you, everything. Just outclass you in every category. They play you off the park.
Carry on.
But no, with PSG, let's be honest there. You know, Neymar, if he scores those chances, you know, PSG steamroll Atalanta. But Upamecano, you know, these quality defenders, they're a lot better defenders than what Atalanta had. Can they nullify Neymar and Mbappe? Maybe not, but I think one of them will be nullified. I think it's just that one bit of brilliance that needs to happen for one of them two, and it makes the impact. But RB Leipzig, people were banking on Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Just wipe him aside, you know. It's Nagelsmann, he's 33, even, you know, Lionel Messi, players are older than him.
Werner had left, so they're thinking, where are the goals going to come from?
Yeah, but like I say, I think RB Leipzig are getting to the final for me. I just see this PSG team, there was weaknesses that Atalanta couldn't expose, but technically, or should we say like tactically more or less, RB Leipzig are better than Atalanta because they have better players. Atalanta have an amazing attack.
Yeah.
Not so amazing defenders or midfielders. Or should we say like defensive midfielders. But RB Leipzig are good all over the park. They've got a good goalkeeper, got some good defenders, you know, such as Upamecano, got some good midfielders, Sabitzer, got some good attackers such as Poulsen, and even that Adams guy that scored. When he came on, he made a bit of ruckus in terms of Atletico Madrid, and to outclass Diego Simeone on the tactics boards is very hard to do. Very few managers do that, and they did it easily. It wasn't as if it was a test; it was easy how we outdid them. So Nagelsmann and Tuchel know each other very well from Hoffenheim and Dortmund.
Yeah.
You know, Nagelsmann, I just see everything right with RB Leipzig. And it's got the fairy tale story of the club that's only been in existence for 11 years. Correct me if I'm wrong.
2009.
Yeah, you know, and they've come from nowhere and they're challenging in the Bundesliga and in Europe.
Listen, I was doing something.
And this guy's like, we've got to think, Nagelsmann, he's lost his best player.
Yeah.
And he's still doing this. Lost his best player team over, and he's still doing these things. But I think RB Leipzig, they've got better players than Atalanta all over the board. Tactically, they've got a better manager than Atalanta. Better, and, you know, they're going to come with a game plan. PSG are going to play the way that they are. PSG defensively are there to be had. You know, could say the same about Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich didn't defend amazingly against Barcelona, but Barcelona couldn't exploit them.
Yeah.
A team that's in better form and has better players be licking their lips at playing against the defence. And I think players like Sabitzer, you know, players like Poulsen and stuff, they will know that players such as Kimpembe, such as Marquinhos, they're there to be had defensively because they don't have the legs to run back, shall we say? Maybe Kimpembe, but that's about it. Right on the counter attack, like say they'll throw all the centre halves forward for a corner. You know, Kimpembe and Marquinhos will go forward for a corner, and they've got the fullbacks there, but Sabitzer can throw a long-ranging ball, and Paulson's, over the top, and Paulson's away. He's clean through, and then they've got to get the goalkeeper to bail him out. So I think it is obviously a major ask. People were saying Atalanta should get past PSG. I didn't see that. I saw it. PSG are just that bit above them in terms of.
I think PSG for me deserve, like, Atalanta didn't create a hell of a lot of chances, and for a team, I know they were missing Ilicic through personal reasons. We're not going to go into them possibly.
Yeah.
But I think for the amount of goals and how their attack has been this season, I think PSG did a decent job on them, but they just were really relying on Neymar brilliance until Mbappe came on to give him a better option, because Icardi was poor, Sarabia was poor, the midfield of Idrissa Gueye, Herrera, and who was that in the midfield?
Paredes.
Who?
Paredes. Leonardo Paredes.
In the midfield?
For PSG?
PSG.
It's not, well, it wasn't Verratti because he's injured.
No, yeah, it wasn't Verratti. It wasn't Verratti. But yeah, I can't remember that. But yeah, it was the head of
Draxler?
No, Draxler was on the bench.
I can't remember.
I remember. It literally just went out of my head. I'll bring it up just now, actually. They had Marquinhos. Yeah, Marquinhos.
Marquinhos. Yeah,
yeah, Marquinhos, who's a centre-back by trade. Well, originally, I know he played there a lot. Just again, Herrera. There's no creativity in that midfield.
No.
And I feel they were just relying on Neymar. But so they did well to contain Atalanta as much as they did. Again, I think that might have been the mixture of them missing their own players. Obviously Cavani's gone, Mbappe was injured, Di Maria was out injured.
Papering over the cracks, really.
Yeah. But I feel like as I said, for me, Bayern versus PSG, obviously they're the favourites. As Hala Madrid says here, Bayern PSG final. They're the favourites. I guess we'd expect them to go through based on that. But this is the Champions League. And we've seen
semi-final.
Yeah, semi-final. We've seen 2 upsets in this little short period already. Both in Lyon's case. 3 actually. Lyon twice and Leipzig. Because Atletico Madrid were the favourites. As poor as we might not enjoy their football, they were the favourites. And they've been there, they've been around these stages before.
Shall I tell you why RB Leipzig are this season?
Go on.
Ajax. They're the Ajax of this season.
Yeah.
Not yet. And you could say the same case for Lyon. Knocked out 2 big teams. Ajax had to do that last season.
Lyon are the Spurs.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't think they'll get to the final.
They might not. Yeah, they might not. But I just mean in terms of like the way that Leipzig play is probably a bit more attractive than the way that Lyon play.
Yeah.
And Ajax were playing very, very good football until, of course, they got knocked out. All
the best players got sold.
Yeah, but so I think if there's going to be an upset, I would expect it to be on the Leipzig PSG game.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the fairy tale final would be Leipzig versus Lyon. That would be the fairy tale final.
Man,
especially in this whole very weird Champions League, this weird 2020. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we ended up with this final, because this whole season has been like a mess that you end up with a final that nobody expects. But I would love it. I would love it if you get like 2004, where you had Monaco and Porto as the 2 finalists, to get Lyon versus Leipzig. And it's just a case of, I don't think no one will go into the game like as neutrals. We'll be like, you know what? I just want to see a good game of football. I just want to see a good game of football.
That's all we want to see right now. And you're going to get that because it's Europe's elite. It's the semi-finals. Even when you're at the quarterfinals, you still get entertained by teams. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. I am backing, however, Bayern and PSG to go through. My personal, I want Neymar to win it. I want Neymar's move to PSG to be vindicated, because obviously he moved there because he wanted to step out of Messi's shadow. He wanted to kind of lead his own team to glory, as opposed to just being a part of a collective, him, Suarez, and Messi. And it would be it might be poetic justice, you might say, that if he was to win it in the same year that you've seen this complete car crash on the other side of the team that he left in terms of Barcelona. But as you know, as a brilliant segue into that game, we didn't do a live after that. I was on a couple other channels after that game. But that Bayern Barca game, 8-2, is that the most embarrassing game you've seen in European football?
Probably, because I've never seen two top teams. Like, everybody was raving about the game because Barcelona Bayern Munich, that's probably the biggest game of the competition thus far. And I've said it for a while about Barcelona. I didn't think the managerial appointment was correct, appointing Quique Setien. You know, they appoint all these ex-players or these up-and-coming managers in Spain who've managed other Spanish clubs, like they might have managed Sevilla to a Europa League, or, you know, this club to that. But you go for the best managers that are out there at a club like Barcelona. You'd think, because, you know, we look at, say, Man United. When Man United were looking at a manager after Louis van Gaal, they got the best manager out there. That was Jose Mourinho at the time.
Yeah.
Manchester City did the same with Pep Guardiola. They did, you know, other clubs have done it as well. You know, Tottenham got the best manager that was out there that really stood out, and that was Mourinho, because he got the Premier League experience, and Allegri didn't. That was probably the only reason why they chose Mourinho over Allegri. But I just think that Barcelona it's been a fall from grace for a couple of years now, really, because every year they've just been embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know, it dates back to when they got beat 2-0 to Atletico Madrid, the Roma game, the Liverpool game.
Manolas, the Greek god in Rome. What a great commentary that was.
Roma have risen from their ruins.
And then Liverpool, that comeback, like, you can't lose a 3-0 lead. You cannot lose a 3-0. Like,
all you need is an away goal, and you're through. That's it. But didn't get it, you know. And like
going into that game, were you expecting Bayern to win? I think you said you thought they were going to win the whole tournament, didn't you?
Yeah. I've said it for a while. I think they're going to win the whole tournament. I don't see why you would bank against them.
Bayern are the most balanced team from back to front. Like,
organised.
Barca have got Messi and Suarez who can turn up.
Individuals.
Yeah, but defensively they ain't great. Midfield is
they're not a team. That's the problem. They don't work like a team. Bayern work like a team.
Man City, they've got, when they play the right formation, they've got a good midfield, they've got a good attack, which is lacking without Aguero, but defensively they're poor. PSG, they really rely on those two guys, Messi and Neymar and to win.
Might be a little bit of a rumour there. Messi to PSG.
Well, maybe he might want out from Barca, but I think everyone else, like Atletico Madrid, defensively generally solid, but they haven't got attack. They're relying on a 20-year-old in João Felix. Costa and Morata are past it, if Morata ever had it. And, you know, Leipzig lost their best striker before the Champions League resumed. Lyon, unfancied. Like, Bayern Munich, from back to front, have the most solid, cohesive team. They've got 2 trophies in the bag already. They've been playing well since lockdown. For me, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, no, Bayern are favourites. People talk about Man City. Those things are feelings. You feel that it's Man City's year. You feel that PSG. Logically speaking, and that's how Germans deal, very logically efficient, no frills. Logically speaking, Bayern Munich are and were the clear favourites, and nothing's changing for me. I'm not going to rule out Lyon because, as I said, they've done it twice. And this year is mad. Anything can happen. But I go into this game thinking Bayern's going to do it.
It's not happening. I'll shut you down straight away. It's not happening.
And finally, we'll end on I just got the comment here from Hala Madrid. Says, Peter Drury did tonight's game, but for US TV. Listen, they need to get Peter Drury in that Champions League final because Steve McManaman is a terrible commentator. He's terrible. We have to deal with him for the Champions League final. I might have to mute the TV. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to because there's no energy unless in Liverpool. And even I remember watching the Liverpool Atletico game, and he was the commentator there, and obviously they were losing, so he was frustrated. He's complaining about this, and the Atletico players are, you know, diving and this and that. Tell me about the game. Like I need a bit more I need a bit more unbiasedness. I don't get that from him, and I hope
I get what you mean.
that somehow they can just switch up the commentary team for the final, because
Martin Tyler.
I think it's unfair. Yeah, Martin Tyler. Trust me, bring him. It's not fair on us that we're gonna have to. Clive Tildsey, like man got cut from his ITV role. He was giving up great commentary on ITV in the Champions League just for one. Just bring him for this one game and say thank you, because I think we deserve it for everything that's happened this year. Football being cut, there's no two-legged ties. I mean, it's a bit more exciting. One night, it's all done. But I'll cry if Manimum's the commentator.
That's going to be a rant. Not if like PSG or Bayern don't win it.
Yeah, that's gonna be because I don't even think he really knows European football. I hope he doesn't know. And I say that respectfully to a lot of these pundits, because they should do their research. They played football. They should know. And they should know more than me. They should, because this is their job. They get paid to do that. But you hear them speak, and it's like they've never seen these players before. Like, he's talking about even Cancelo, which, I know, to be fair, he hasn't even played for Man City this year. But I'm 99.9%, as a matter of fact, I was 100% sure before this game that Cancelo's right-footed. And I'm sure he is. But Manimum is having me convinced that this guy is left-footed. Because he's like, he always wants to go on his left. And I'm sitting there like, no, he doesn't. He's a right-footed player. And I had to go and search. I was like, no, he is right-footed. So what's he talking about? Like, I don't know if they're really actually studying these players. But either way, there's better commentators out there, and we can do better. But yeah, what was I going to say? I was going to say the last game, Lyon, Juventus. Obviously, I came on. I was like, sorry, had to go.
I was like that with Seti on G's channel yesterday.
Yeah, and
he's done out here tonight.
Yeah, well, I think it's not. Barca haven't officially announced it, but I know Fabrizio Romano. He says
it's confirmed. It's confirmed.
Yeah, that he's going to be.
He's done.
So it's just literally just waiting for the official Barcelona confirmation. But we all know that his time is coming. Pirlo is the new Juve manager.
I know where you're going to come with this.
No, I just want to know what this means for Ronaldo. Like, is Ronaldo going to say, you know what, we're going to build a team and Pirlo's going to be the man to go for this rebuild? I mean, he's coming at the end of his career. Has he got time to go for another rebuild? Is he going to say, you know what, let me move to maybe a PSG where the team is there and ready? Or there's been rumors. There's been rumors. I don't agree. I don't think it's happening at all.
Oh, wait.
You're talking about it. There's been rumors about Ronaldo linking up with Messi at Barcelona. So I want to know, what is the future for Juve under Pirlo after being dumped out by Lyon?
I don't think Barcelona have the bank balance to buy Ronaldo anyway, even if they wanted to. I don't see it happening. But I just think with obviously with Pirlo, I've said it. We said it about when Lampard went into the Chelsea job, when Ole went into the United job. These young managers, they know the club. That's it essentially. That's the only reason why they brought him back. The fan base is toxic now against the whole club. They brought somebody in who's going to be a motivator, who's going to be positive about the club, who would die for the club, really, let's be fair. And they played for the club, like I've already said. So they know everything about the club. They know what to do in situations on the field. When you take your experiences on the field and you on the touchline, you can't impact a game. You can't go on and score a goal. You've got to rely on what people, listen. If people listen to you and everything. But I think Ronaldo will have a major voice at Juventus. I do, yeah. I think a person like Pirlo, I think Ronaldo would be excited to work with him. And the only reason why I'd say that is because it's different for Ronaldo. All the clubs that he's been at, he's had established managers. An established Italian manager. He's managed pretty much all his career in Italy. So he's an established Italian coach. He's played under other managers, Ferguson, an established, Scottish coach, but in the English league, so an established British coach. So you get where I'm coming from here?
Yeah.
He's worked under established coaches, whereas Pirlo's not had a proper professional gig, not had a proper job. So it's different. And I think Ronaldo will work. I think he will want Ronaldo's input because Ronaldo's been in these teams that have excelled over the years. You know, Real Madrid's 3 Champions League trophies. You know, he's obviously excelled in all these games and everything. But for me, I think it's a perfect match. It's a perfect fit because Pirlo will be that, should we say, figurehead in the dressing room, because I think he was the captain at Juventus for a little while.
Yeah.
So he's led that dressing room, and some of the players that are in the team now, he's played with them. You know, players like Chiellini and stuff, he's played with them. You know, but I think, you know, it's a case of Bayern Munich are the prime example. Bayern Munich, a year and a half ago, they had a lot of aging players. They didn't really play to full potential because there was too many. They didn't have the right balance of youth and experience. Whereas now they do. They have players like Muller, who's been in the game a while, Lewandowski, but they've got young players such as, you know, Alphonso Davies, Kimmich, you know, these younger generation of players, Goretzka. They've got these younger generation of players, and it's mixed well. Juventus and such as teams like Barcelona, half of the teams probably over the age of 29, 30. You know, and this is the problem with these football clubs. You need to mix youth with experience, and if you don't get the mix, or you don't get the mix right,
Barca have allowed their team to age.
Yes, they have. They haven't replaced properly or recruited properly in the market.
What they did, they lost Neymar, which wasn't their fault. He had a release clause, is what it is, and they've been hell bent on trying to replace Neymar as opposed to trying to build a team. And in all the years they brought in Dembele, that didn't work out. I know he's young, but it was like a panic. It's like, we lost Neymar. All right, we're going to splash that cash and we've got to get Dembele. Then they went and got Coutinho, and he was never a Barcelona type player, and that didn't work out. And now they've gone and got Griezmann, who, I mean, he was dropped for that game. He's been dropped for many games this season. He hasn't had a good season. And I don't think he's a Barcelona type player. I don't think he's the player that they needed, if we're going to be honest. So it's like they're just trying to.
And have you noticed the pattern there? It's all attacking players.
Yeah, but because they're just trying to replace Neymar. They're trying to recreate that front three that they had.
They've bought 3 players to replace 1.
Yeah, and in that time, the defenders are getting older, their midfielders are getting older, and they're relying more, and even their strikers, Suarez is getting older as well, and they're relying more and more on Messi, and now they're suffering for it. So they need a massive overhaul. Juve need a bit of an overhaul as well. I mean, I would say they got a good deal in terms of swapping Pjanic for Arthur, which is like 6 years younger, very similar players. Barca's gone and got Pjanic, who again is a very similar player, but he's 6 years older. What's happening at Barca is ridiculous. Doesn't make sense. As Hala Madrid says here, the Juve have given up on the UCL, I guess. Yeah, because when you hire Pirlo, you can't go into next season and say, all right, and I know it's your first season, but we expect you to win the league because we got Ronaldo. No, I think what they're going to say now is we want to win the Champions League, of course, but we're willing to build a team that's ready to win it, as opposed to just throw money at it. You know, Ramsey, 400,000 a week. Herrera, 350,000 a week. Rabiot, 400,000 a week. Ronaldo, 100 million. Let's go and try and win it. I think they've said, you know what, 2-3 years ain't working. Sarri was a bad option, bad choice.
Yeah, but have you noticed something as well? That a lot of these top teams in Europe and everything, every one of them wants to win the Champions League, right? If Atalanta would have somehow beat PSG, Thomas Tuchel, I would have had no doubt, would have probably been sacked, because he's had two goes at it and he's failed to get beyond the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So he probably would have been sacked. Quique Setien failed Barcelona to win the Champions League, sacked. Same with Valverde. Had the time, got the sack. Probably you'd expect the same, you know, probably say if Man City didn't have Pep Guardiola, if it were any other person in there who's had 4 other attempts, they'd have been sacked by now. You know, so it's like the same with Juventus. Sarri's had his go, didn't do it much really. Sacked.
I think I was gonna say the Sarri one is more than just the Champions League. It's the way that they've
scraped the Italian league.
And that's unforgivable. As Juventus, you've won 8 in a row. This is your 9th, and you're scraping over the line. And really and truly, it's only because of the other teams struggled after lockdown.
Inter or Lazio would have won it if COVID wouldn't have struck.
Yeah. For me, Lazio, because Inter were, but yeah, 100. 100% for as far as I'm concerned, anyway. But yeah, interesting. Question here, Blue FT216. Do you think it's been one of the off seasons for English clubs in the Champions League, or the fact that the other teams from other leagues starts to improve? I think it's been a bit of an off season because Liverpool are better than a lot of the sides in the competition right now for me, and even at the quarterfinal stage they got knocked out in the last 16, wasn't it, to Atletico Madrid. Who was in Europe? I mean, Arsenal's a better team than Olympiacos, so you would expect them to have at least reached, like, say, the quarterfinals or something of that in the Europa League. Chelsea are not good enough. They weren't good enough this year. Never would have been good enough. And Man City, we expect them to beat Lyon. I think it's been a bit of an off season.
Tottenham.
I think Tottenham. They went out to Leipzig. No, that was always a bit of a 50-50 game for me. And with the way that Spurs were playing at the time, they sacked Pochettino, Mourinho just come in. I wasn't really expecting them to go and beat Leipzig. What I would say is that I don't think that, let's say PSG win Ligue 1. For me, it doesn't exalt Ligue 1 as this now the best league, and all the French teams that come through.
They need to have somebody to compete with. Is that what you're trying to get at?
What I'm saying is, I don't think the rest of the Ligue 1 teams are now going to be challenging in Europe year after year. I'm not going to expect to see Lyon back here again next year, for example, just because they got there this year. Bundesliga, yes, it's possible. You know, if Dortmund change from a selling club to a club that's actually trying to win stuff, they keep Sancho, they keep Bellingham, and they actually build a team that can challenge, then I would expect them to be in the latter stages of the knockout round. Leipzig, the way they're progressing, they're going in the right direction. So I think as far as the Bundesliga is concerned, yes, they could take advantage of this dip.
I think with Leipzig, though, they've got to keep hold of that manager.
Yeah.
They've got to tie him down longer, for sure.
Yeah. And I think Bundesliga can take advantage of this little period, and the English and the Premier League. I can't see Serie A being a real threat in the next couple of years. La Liga is Barca, for me, they need a lot of work before they can really seriously consider winning the Champions League. Real Madrid, can't rule them out. You can't rule them out. I mean, they lost to Man City, and deservedly so, but they won La Liga, which is really and truly what they wanted to win this year. Because they won.
And that was they had a manager switch mid-season as well.
With who?
With Zidane.
That was last year. So this was the first full year. Well, this is his first full year back at Real Madrid. Last season, he came in halfway. Yeah.
Oh, so, yeah. I'm getting confused with the break and everything.
Yeah. So they've had 1 year. They needed to win La Liga. They did win La Liga. So next year, if they made the right movements in the transfer markets, whether that's selling Gareth Bale and reinvesting it, or somehow reintegrating him back into the side, whatever it might be, I'm not going to rule them out. But for me, I think at this stage, Premier League and Bundesliga, this is your moment to seize control of European football. La Liga's had its turn. You know, they've been dominant in Europe since 2000 and who won it in 14? So 2013 was Bayern Munich. 2014 Real Madrid. So since 2014 till 2018, that's about 5 years? Yeah.
5
years. It was La Liga in across the board. It was La Liga. You know, obviously we know Man United won a Europa League, but Sevilla were always up there as well. Chelsea won a Europa League as well. But from 14 to 18, that 5 year period was La Liga. I think the next 5 year period would either be dominated either by one Bundesliga or Premier League, or it might just be shared between the Bundesliga and the Premier League. So when I say the next 5 years, including last year. So Liverpool won it last year. I think I'm going to back on Bayern Munich to win it this year. And I expect the English sides, Man City and Liverpool, first and foremost, to be up there again next year. Final comment from Hala Madrid says, Perez out. I mean, he's the Don Daddy at Real Madrid, so I can't see that happening. But I know there's talk at Barcelona about Bartomeu, their president, about him. He has to go because the transfer policy under him has been absolutely terrible. So I don't know when the elections are planned. They might do a snap election and get him out of there. Elections all over the board, isn't it? What do you call it?
Yeah,
US.
I think you know, the person who hit the nail on the head with Spanish football, and when fans like turn against you, was Gary Neville when he were at Valencia. When the fans turn against you in Spain, there's no coming back. Like with that defeat tonight, Barcelona fans, if they were, imagine if that was a full stadium at the Camp Nou or something, like they would be pouring for blood. I'm not sure if you saw the video when Barcelona actually landed back in Spain.
No, I didn't.
And they got greeted by got booed off the coach, every one of them.
Send it.
They had their help.
When we come up there, send it to me on Twitter.
Yeah, they got absolutely booed by their own fans. I don't blame them. If that was Man United, it'd be more than blooming booing. More than booing, you'd be chuffing, chanting, get the hell out of this football club. Seriously, it's just a disgrace. You know, just drop below minimum expectations. They even try. They look like they were beaten before the game. Like they're coming out with silly statements saying, "Oh, Barcelona are the best team in the world." That was Arturo Vidal. Didn't really turn up though, did you? the best team in the world right now was the team we've just got absolutely whitewashed against.
Yeah.
And that was one leg. Chelsea did better in 2 legs than Barcelona did in 1. That's the funny thing. I think even Man United would have probably beat them on that performance. And we'll play teams like Sevilla at the moment.
Well, listen, we'll see what happens with Man United Sevilla tomorrow. But yeah, definitely I will do a match review for that. Hopefully Man United can make it to a European final. We've been in this will be 3 semi-finals this season: the League Cup, or Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and now the Europa League. As far as
we've not got to a final.
We ain't got to a final. As far as the Champions League goes, the semi-final draw is confirmed: Bayern Munich versus Lyon, RB Leipzig versus PSG. Farmers League no more. They have turned the Champions League into a Farmers League. Hit the like and subscribe button, guys.